Alright, so this is going to be a hopefully quick guide to ledge proxies for Rack 1 on PS2 specifically. It's not going to be a full tutorial. Zyphals already has a fantastic tutorial that I'll link in the description. Here I'll just talk about some of the differences that make them feel different on PS2, and really the short version is they kind of suck. They're just less consistent, a little more awkward, and if you compare my runs on PS2 to PS3, you'll find that on PS2 I just do fewer of them. I avoid the ones that I can avoid because they are less consistent. But there are still two that I do on in any percent, and one more that I do in AGB. And I'll show the two any percent ones here. Maybe I'll show the third as well. The first one is on Battaglia. So this is what you're going to want to do when you want to skip the grind boots. Now, first of all, the cam proxy here, it's probably just a skill issue on my part, but I swear it's harder to do on PS2, so I don't even bother. I just high jump onto this tree, walk up the cliff a little bit, and then it is SI, SI, and you're up here. Now once you're up here, what I like to do is stand right near the middle of this rock, wrench swing to make sure you're at the ledge. Sometimes when you wrench swing, you'll kind of fall off the cliff. If that happens, you can just double jump back on. Every time you get a horizontal wrench swing, you can always jump out of it. Now, on PS3, first of all, don't mind my weird grip. I hate the claw grip. But on PS3, to do a ledge proxy, you can throw the bomb basically immediately once the camera kind of locks in underneath you like that. On PS2, what you're going to want to do is wait a little bit. You got to wait for the camera to get right up into like Ratchet's chest basically. And it's all shaky and awkward. But by waiting a little bit longer, you should be able to get that proxy. When you're practicing this, by the way, don't just fall onto this part of the rock. You want to glide onto it. If you fall onto it, you'll just fall off. So once again, wrench swing to make sure you're right at the ledge. You wait a little bit, and then there it didn't even work, which is normal, you know. I don't get this every time in runs. It is awkward, it's less consistent. But there you go. That's basically what you want to do though, is wait for the camera to really get up into Ratchet's hitbox basically. Otherwise, it's just not going to work, or you'll get like a little baby proxy. Quick note on this, by the way, if you're just starting out and maybe you're still not super comfortable with doing mid-airs, not to worry. On PS3, you might see people do another ledge proxy here. I don't recommend that on PS2, again, just because they're really awkward. Instead, you can just do a regular long jump and glide around this invisible wall, and you can make it here without too much trouble. And then you can just high jump onto the rail. And if you want to be really cheeky, you can do some ground ILJs, but you know, maybe I won't recommend that for a beginner. The second and final ledge proxy that I do in any percent is here on OLTANIS in order to get the PDA early. Now, this one's maybe a lower priority for a beginner, just because it's not going to save you nearly as much time, because it doesn't allow you to skip an expensive gadget like the grind boots. But I want to show you anyway, because this feels like a different type of ledge proxy that behaves actually quite differently. Now, first of all, for the out of bounds, on PS3 you'll see people doing a ledge proxy around here. Again, don't bother with that on PS2. I don't know that I've ever been able to get it to work. So instead, I'll stand around here and I'll just do a flip and hopefully flip onto the wall directly. Didn't happen this time, but that's alright. We can get onto the wall maybe with a side flip into a hyper strike. And we want to get around here and then climb this rubble with some wrench SIs. Now all this is the same as on PS3. Now this proxy comes to us courtesy of the legendary Clank. On PS3, you'll do some kind of ledge proxy here. Don't bother on PS2. It's probably not going to work. So instead you're going to go further back, and you're going to actually wrench swing towards the wall here twice, and then you're going to get a proxy from there. Now, remember how I said that you want the camera to get into Ratchet's chest? Well, here, this is going to happen automatically because we're not actually on a ledge, we're on a slope. And there, as soon as the camera kind of locks in, it's already at Ratchet's chest, and you can throw the bomb immediately, and this tends to be a much easier proxy compared to the other kind. Now, don't mind this jump cut. I definitely did not fail this a bunch of times in a row because I'm out of practice. The point is, to complete the trick, you do your 2 wrench swings here, and then at the top, you'll want to do 2 more wrench swings at the top of the proxy into a double jump. And that is for a little bit of extra distance. So a couple of wrench swings, boom, double jump, that'll get you towards Quark. And one thing that is going to take some practice is what angle are you facing? What angle are you making Ratchet go towards in order to get here? Because you do have to be careful. It is still reasonably precise. Let me show you an example of one that is definitely not going to work. Basically, at the top of the proxy, or as I proxy, I'll go full left. So like it feels like I should make it, but you will not. So here we go. Full left, and it's like, oh, it seems like I'm really close there, but this is not going to make it. You're just going to respawn back here. So instead, I kind of aim, or I try to kind of aim in that corner between the platform and the ice. That's basically what I'm looking for. And with that, I think I will show you the one on Gaspar, which is the one that I do in all gold bolts. So this is what you're going to do right at the end of Gaspar to get the final bolt. Do not come and do a ledge proxy here. It's not going to work. You could, absolutely, if you're comfortable with doing the SIs around the cliff, go for it. I don't like that, but I did find this ledge proxy right around here, where I get Ratchet between those 2 darker patches. We can get a proxy from here, make Ratchet go slightly right, and make sure that you glide a little bit, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to get on top, or above rather, that invisible wall. So there you have it. All 3 ledge proxies that I do in any% and AGB on PS2. As always, let me know if you have any questions. And once again, they are kind of awkward. If you find better setups than I have, please let me know. I would love to know what they are. So with that, happy running.